have only been forewarnings.
So this is what they call fate, huh? Well, sounds like fun!
The time is near. Before we can create the new world together, there is one last thing we must do. The final hurdle that we must face is utterly defeating Kullervo.
Kullervo wants to use the Book of Prophecy to destroy this world and create a new one.